Shalom Akim, your brother Raz Allah from GMSLondon camp. First and foremost, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and blessings unto the hopeful let rain of four winds. That's another quick article, the GMSEsauExposed.com website. It says planned collapse of the dollar and the Federal Reserve is behind the plot. Yeah, man, because who owns the Federal Reserve? These banking Jewish families around the earth, known as the Rothschild families and the rest of them on down. The banking elite, the ones that call themselves aka the 1%, they own the Federal Reserve, lock, stock and barrel, man. British bankers, man, they ain't even American. You know, you got the counterpart, American version of the Rothschild family known as the Rockefellers, and they've been over there in the Americas for centuries, you know, doing their wicked biddings. And obviously, yes, the elites that are planning the demise of the American dollar. Why? Because they want to, you know, proclaim their new world order, man. They're at the final, you know, stages of, you know, finally crowning so-called the success of their new world order, you know. But that's going to be disannulled, man, by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because ultimately their new world order, their coming out party is the RFID chip, you know, which is part of the ultimate plan. You know, Aaron Russo spoke to Nick Rockefeller about that idea a few years back, man, and, you know, basically spilled the beans on the new world order agenda of the elites. But you know, as I said, man, the Most High is gonna, you know, when these devils are about to fill their belly, that's when these devils are gonna be taken down by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through His Son Yahweh Shai, man, and He's gonna destroy the kings of the earth, starting with Esau, man, because he's the head honcho right now, and he's at the end of his world, which the word world, you know, in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 chapter, we go back to the word Aeon, you know, which means age. Esau's at the end of his age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You know, our age and our rulership's going to rule, and it's going to be an everlasting rulership at that. You know, if you go into the book of Isaiah 45 and 17, it tells you about Israel, world without end. And that word there in the Hebrew is Ayawalam, which, you know, associates with the same word in the Greek term for world, Aeon, which means an enduring time and age of rulership, man, you know. But our rulership is going to be a world without end, the everlasting, eternal kingdom, man, because we're going to be reigning on the earth as immortals, you know. But anyway, just back to the point of the article, yeah, the planned collapse and the dollar is nigh upon us, man. And you got all these different nations that were so-called allied with America, but now they're turning their backs on them, man. They don't want nothing to do with America no more. You had Russia today, or last night, just declare that, you know, that dumping the dollar is a part of a national emergency, man, you know. They basically want to do their own thing, man, and leave America out, because all the backdoor deals that they've done with America has not come out to their, you know, especially in the EU and all these other nations, have not come out to their benefits, man. It's only come out for America's benefits with that petrodollar, man. But now these other nations are waking up to the schemes and the downturn of their economies because of America's treachery and you know, their backbiting nature. So it says first it was the Brics. First it was the Brics that ditched the petrodollar. It says you know about the BRIC nations: Brazil, Russia, Ireland, China, and South America, South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. But it says carry on reading. It says first it was the Brics that ditched the petrodollar. It says the only backing the US dollar has now. It says even more. Our former allies, e.g. Japan, are ditching the dollar, and this is only the beginning. Yeah, because you know, America's done after all these economies really you know, dump the dollar. They're going to be, you know, fighting for scraps, trying to hold on to that. But ultimately, because the situations of, you know, the markets and all these different little downturns in the markets have been happening more of recent, it's going to be a, you know, a trickle down effect, and it's going to be more corrosive when and lead to basically an economic collapse, man. Where America's not going to be able to stand on their foot no more, man. They're going to drop. The economy's going to totally drop and collapse, and it's going to be a worldwide effect. And then it's going to trickle down on a global effect, as I said, and everyone's going to be you know, affected by it. And then these elites are going to come in with their so-called new wave of solution, which is going to be that the RFID chip system, man. You know, that's what they're going to come up with, man. That's what they're gonna. I said one of the BRIC nations was Italy. It was India. So lucky it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Yeah. So yeah, all America's allies are turning their back on him, man. And it's inevitable because America's at its final leg. As the Lord said, that these devils are heaped treasures for the last days. It shows you that we're in the last days of this American society, man. This American empire or Roman Empire ruling ever on this earth again. So the three immediate goals of the New World Order, and these are so-called the goals of the the elites. I'm just going to jump down to the specifics. It says reduction, point one, reduction of the global population by 90%. Ted Turner, the founder of CNN, stated in 1997 in a Dubin magazine. And yeah, man, they got the Georgia Guidestones over there in America, although it seemed like they've taken it down. But on that, they said that they wanted to, destroy it, basically reduce population to 500 million people on the planet, man, and destroy the majority of the people on the earth. It says the reduction of global population by 90%, so that's a hell of a lot of people. There's over 7 point something billion people on the earth right now, so they want to totally eradicate 90% and have a small number, something like 500 million, Slovakia, million people left on the earth as serfs, slaves, to work in their new world order, their one world government system, man, at Orbis Unum. It says number two says one world government. Yeah, Orbis Unum, man, one world government. It says this is being fully expressed by the 600 million UN sponsored immigrants that are overrunning the top 7 Western nations. Yeah, man, because it's all controlled from the elites on the top, and it trickles down, man. So they all have to be in agreement, man. That really want to survive so-called economic disaster, and so on and so forth, man, and be part of Esau's new world order, so to speak, because they're all a bunch of sheep. They're all a bunch of sheeple anyway, man. They're all puppets that work for the agendas of the global elites, man. So verse number 3 says the collapse of all central bank currencies in favor of replacing national currencies with the world, for lack of a better term, basically a new world currency, which is going to be that chip, man, by way of that microchip. That's why everything's turning cashless right now. They're getting rid of the dollar. They're getting rid of all these different cash points and all these so-called systems that they have, getting rid of banks and stuff like that, and they're setting up RFID to machinery, man. Banking machinery that people can use and tap their chips basically when they put them in their hands or in their forehead to deal with currency and whatever needs to be done, man. That's going to be the new convenience, man. Out of the old technology and in with the new. That's why all these societies and everything, especially over there, Switzerland and all that, they're endorsing the RFID chip hard, man. China and all these different countries, they're endorsing it. It's like the fifth world's trending technology on the earth right now. And one other article I heard or read about, and it's saying that 100,000 people worldwide have been chipped at the moment. That's what they're saying from their stats, but I don't know how true that is. But that's it's definitely trending, man. And then that's why they got these celebrities and all these different, sports and realities and sports and celebrities and entertainers in general just endorsing, that new technology, because that's going to be the new wave, of control, man. From these global elites. That's them declaring that they're gods on the earth, basically. So it says in order to bring about global currency, the US dollar must be destroyed. And that's the plan of the global elites, man. It says, and the center of the plot of the Federal Reserve is the Federal Reserve. It says, why would the Federal Reserve agree to destroy their own current or creation? It says the answer is simple. They will have a larger role in the global currency, wealth, and decision making in the new global system. And that's what it is. It's about a new pit that these devils want to create for everyone to be entangled in, man, and trapped in. System goes back to the word pit. So it's a new global system, a new global pit, man. And they want them serfs, them slaves, to just be in order and follow their new way of living, so to speak, new way of life, new monetary system, man. And America's just done nothing but a big experiment anyway. It's just basically a big sandcastle that's going to be washed away, that these elites set up basically just to establish their new world order, man. That's why, America's going to dump their own or destroy their own federal currency and that Federal Reserve, to start up a new one, man. Because it was basically set up to be that, the scapegoat, for these global elites. This is so. It goes into the Brics and all that. I'll just read this first paragraph, and I'm gonna jump to the scriptures and then close out, man. It says the Brics add to the anti-American petrodollar allies. So Sputnik News recently reported that China sold off 3 billion in US dollar bonds. It says in recent months, Russia, China, Japan, Turkey, Iraq, and Iran and Iraq have all ditched the dollar in the bilateral trade with each other. And that's it, man. Everyone's fed up with America, man. All the nations are mad, and they're fed up, They're sick of America's BS, they're sick of America's sanctions, and they're sick of America's treachery, man. Especially that you've got this guy DJ Trump in there right now, and he's just like a maniac on steroids, man. He's just a loose cannon, man. You don't know what he's gonna say or what he's gonna declare or do in his so-called government, man. He's just coming out the gate, blasting, shooting, rapidly, man, irrationally. He doesn't even have no control over what he's saying. Really, he's just a puppet of the global elites anyway, and he's supposed to push, the barriers, so to speak, and make everything collapse the way it is. And he's going to lead America into that World War III and get them destroyed. He's that guy right now. It says, being that Japan is a close ally of the US, their sudden move to ditch the dollar came as a surprise to most. This is also the EU ended the use of the dollar when trading with Iran in order to circumvent US sanctions. You're seeing that live in living color, man. But why is this all happening? Because it's biblical prophecy, man. The Lord, sanctified that these things would happen, man. That these kings of the earth would not, be against each other in these last days, and they'll, come head to head, and then they'll in turn tear each other down and destroy each other by way of that nuclear missile, man. That this devil will be caught, and these Edomites will be caught in their own snare, man, that they set up, which ultimately is those nuclear missiles, man. So this is which all these other nations have right now. So they're all gonna go, as I said, they're gonna clash head to head, and they're gonna destroy each other, and then ultimately as well, Yahweh Shai is gonna come with the chariots and the angels to zap Esau's empire up as well, man, and destroy all these graven images and all these monuments and these people, man, and enslave enslave these nations and put his foot on their necks once and for all, bound them for slavery, captivity. So this is Daniel's 2. Just gonna jump around. I'm not gonna try and stay on this too long as well. It says Daniel's 2 and 33. It says when you go into the standing image, well, I'll start from 32. It says, this image's head was of fine gold, representing the Babylonian kingdom that ruled once back in the ancient world. And it says his breast and his arms of silver, going into the Persian and the Median Empire that ruled after the Babylonians. It says his belly and his thighs of brass, which goes into the Greek Empire. And it says his legs of iron, which goes into the pagan Roman Empire that ruled after the Greeks, the Greco-Roman Empire, if you will. And then it says his feet, part of iron and part of clay, which goes into what? The second leg of the pagan Roman Empire, which is currently called the Americas, man. That's the big bad wolf on the earth right now, ruling, as the big head honcho on the earth, above all these other nations. And this is part of iron and part of clay, because there's going to be a division in the empire, man, with all America's allies. They're going to be under that Roman system, but there's going to be basically like an insurrection and a breakdown of society within his own society, man, within his own economy, his empire, man, and all these so-called allies, the EU and NATO nations that are supposed to be backing America. They're all gonna turn their backs on America basically and destroy their asses, man. And we're in the process of that happening right before our eyes, man. We're seeing that live and kicking every day. When you turn on the news, you're seeing the skirmishes that's going on with the EU and America, Russia and America, even though Russia's not part of NATO or anything like that. But you got all these different allies, so-called, of America, China, the rest of them, Japan and all that. Everyone's turning their back on America, man. You know why? Because America can't be trusted. The scripture says, "Never trust thine enemy." And if you know the history of the MO of the so-called white man, you know the king colonist of the earth. You know that you definitely can't trust him, because it's John 10:10 tells you he's a thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. And this white man's known as the master of disaster, man. He leaves a trail of death and destruction everywhere he goes. So how can you do business with a guy like that? That's a guy not to be trusted, man, or a nation not to be trusted. You know. So anyway, I'm gonna go back down to yeah, I'll read 34. It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands. Talking about who? Yahweh Shai, man, because he's coming back on a great mountain, man, which is, in Ezra, it's it recorded, or associated, the rock or the mountain that Yahweh Shai came out on, which was basically a chariot. You can be associated to that stone that was cut out without hands, man. In this chapter. I'm all over the place with lucky, I was trying to, jump around real quick. It says, which smote the image upon his feet. So yeah, because when Yahweh Shai comes on that big chariot, which is a father ship, what the white man calls UFOs, he's going to destroy Esau, and his whole empire, man, and his armies, and it represents, Esau represents defeat right now, because we're at the end of his society, the end of his rule, man. He's about to go down, and he's not going to have no legs to stand upon, man. The Lord's going to destroy him totally and utterly, man, and he's going to be finished after that. It says, after the Lord visited his asses, man. It says, which smote the image upon his feet, and that were of iron and iron of clay, and break them into pieces. Yeah, the Lord's going to destroy the kings of the earth, as it tells you in Revelation 19th chapter, man. He's going to take all their crowns, and he's going to rule over them, man. It says, verse 35, it says, then was the iron, the clay, and the brass, and the silver, and the gold broken into pieces, and became like chaff of the summer threshing floors. It says, and the wind carried them away. So yeah, that nuclear wind. It says, and that no place was found for them. It says, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain. See, that's Yahweh Shai, man, and that new governing body that's going to be ruled on the earth. It's going to be Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man. The kingdom of heaven is Yahweh Shai's kingdom, and the elect are going to be his joint heirs. As it tells you in Galatians 4:4. It says, and filled the whole earth. Yeah, because we're going to rule over the whole earth. The scripture says in Revelations 5:10 that we shall reign on the earth, man. And there's going to be a new world order. Is going to be Yahweh Shai's order, man. The Israelite order, man, of righteousness reigning throughout the four winds of the earth. And then we're going to travel throughout the galaxies of the universe and, establish the same thing, man. Rule on other planets, and do as we please. But everything's going to be put back into balance, man. So the balance is going to be restored, man. The force, So, yeah, was the other verse I wanted to get, in regards to the 10 toes, man. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I think it's 42 or something like that. Yeah, 43. And this is I'll start from 42. It says, and as the as the toes of the feet were part out of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Yeah, man, because you're gonna have your strong nations, that so-called part of the EU and NATO nations, and then you're gonna have your partially broken, man. Like your BRIC nations and all that. That's supposed to be involved with the Americas. As I said, Brazil, or not. They're not part of the EU, but they're supposed to be in so-called business or colludings with America, but they're not no more. Like the BRIC nations, man. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, man. They all, all those nations are so-called allied with America. They're breaking away from them, man. Why? Because America's a broken kingdom, and it's about to be destroyed. It's about to meet that judgment, man, of the Heavenly Father. So verse 43 says, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, it says, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, which is Esau, seed of men, the seed of the wicked. It says, but they shall not cleave to one another. Yeah, they're not going to cleave to one another, because they're all going to be trying to fight for basically that power seat, man. And they all know that America is, causing the skirmishes, and the fire to be ignited within their economies and all that, regarding the stock markets and all that trembling, like you had Turkey's markets with the lira, falling apart because of America's bad deeds, man. That petrodollar, man. So they're not going to cleave to one another, as even iron is not mixed with miry clay or mixed with clay. They're not going to agree with one another, man. You know, because America's basically systems is corrupt, is foul. You know, it's set up, set up by fraud, as it tells you, man, in the scriptures, man, backed by fraud. It's Ezekiel 28, and this is basically going to lead to the reason of why World War III is going to happen, man. Because now America's going to be fighting for scraps, and their alternative is to think carnal, man. They're going to have to force their hand, and America 3 is going to take place. Israel's going to get involved. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Israel's going to get involved. They're going to try and go into Iran, mess with their currency and mess with their, resources and all that. Throw some false allegations and false flags to blame Iran, so they can go up in there, try and, build pipelines or whatever. And then they're gonna, it's gonna backfire. Russia's gonna get involved. All these other nations, that America's so-called allied with, they're gonna get involved. Russia's gonna be backing all those different nations over there that's around about them, from Iran and all the other nations around. And World War III is gonna take place. It's gonna kick off, man, in a major way, and America's gonna be utterly destroyed. This is verse 18. It says, Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities. Let's talk about America, man, because America was birthed through iniquity, man, from the get-go, from when these conquistadors and these devils went over there to the Americas and to establish their new world order, through Cristobal Colon, and those different leaders back then, It was birthed off iniquity, man, by them putting their dirty hands, their red turdy hands on the nation of Israel, from the southern kingdom to the northern kingdom, man. These devils got to pay for all that, man. That treachery, man. Because we was the stocks and bonds of their markets back then. We was their commodities back then. We built this wicked ass empire basically through our innocent sweat and blood and tears. It says, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Yeah, the iniquity of their traffic is talking about their stocks and bond markets, man. That corrupt petrodollar system that they created, man. The Federal Reserve Bank, man, that's backed by nothing but fraud, man. That's a separate owned private bank, that's owned by who? The British banking families over here in Europe, man, namely the Rothschilds. It says, therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It says, it shall devour thee, and that's talking about that nuclear fire. World War III. It says, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth. Yeah, America's going to become a big pit of ash, man. All 5,000 miles of it. It says, in the sight of all them that behold thee. Yeah, all the nations that were so-called allied with you, they're going to behold it, and they're going to be weeping and crying because they ain't going to be able to make no more money with America. But ultimately, everyone's going to be, see America receive that judgment, man. And that's going to be the downfall and the end of the American system, man, by way of the Heavenly Father, of how not to rule, or what the judgment of the wicked get when they, rule in unrighteousness, man, on the earth. It says, and all they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Yeah, like people are getting astonished now, because once before, America was that, golden city, so to speak, now they're diminishing, man. Their economy's corrupted, it's falling. Their, moral standards have, fallen and declined dramatically, man. Because of the things that they're endorsing and trying to, justify in their court systems and all that, and make legalized and all that. Like homosexuality, LGBT, and all the madness out there. Pedophilia now, that's on the next tab to be legalized over there in the Americas. These devils are corrupting the mind, man. The Lord said it's just shameful spewings, man. Make bare the fire and all that. He revealed them, man, for what they really are. Nothing but a bunch of damn serpents, man. Not wise either, but a bunch of devious demons, man. The devil, man, basically deceivers on the earth. That needs to be destroyed and put in chains. Talking about you so-called white people, man. It says, and all they that know at thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more. Yeah, you're gonna be a terror. Why? Because everyone's gonna see how you got destroyed, how you received your judgment, and you're not gonna rule ever again, man. You're not gonna be anymore. You're gonna be in servitude for 1,000 years, and after that, you're gonna be exterminated off the face of the earth. That's gonna be the real Georgia Guidestone, so to speak, roughly, saying. In regards to you trying to exterminate, the children of Israel on the earth, and having, only 10% people on the planet, out of 7 billion people that's on the planet. You're going to be the only nation on this planet Earth that's going to be exterminated, man. Literally, So anyway, I'm going to read this last scripture and then close out. It So Jeremiah 51:7 says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Yeah, you was at the top of the height of your kingdom at one time. You know, all the nations bow down to you, but now all the nations got the same weaponry you got, and they don't even want to deal with your monetary system no more, because it's just all backed by fraud. It's corrupt from within. You know, it's rotten all the way out. It says that made all the earth drunken. Yeah, drunken off that Babylon juice, man, and that shit is bitter as fuck. It says the nations are drunken off her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, that corrupt system, the iniquity of that traffic, man. You know. And then verse 8 says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. But America's not going to be healed, man. It says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let her. Yeah, America's basically a system's fallen. It's never going to be revived. Talking about all that Kanye West endorsement of Donald DJ Trump, MAGA, make America great again. It's not America's never going to be great again. You're at your final decline, and you're going to stay declining until the Lord utterly destroy you with them nuclear missiles, man. You're not going to be healed. You know, America's not going to ever be great again. That MAGA shit is in vain. You know, but that goes back to the scripture, Psalms 49:11, because these devils think they're going to rule it forever. They wish that they could rule forever, but it's not going to happen. That's a vain thought. It's to forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth up unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Yeah, your judgment reached up to you know, everyone's still like everyone's going back to their own country, meaning that no one wants to do business with you, dirty Americans no more, man, because you're dirty, man. You know, treacherous dealings and all that, man. You know, the tabernacles of bribery shall be burnt with fire, man. And it says in Job 15, man. You know, you're going to be taken out of the picture, man. Taken out of the frame. You're not going to rule on the earth as a big head honcho or big bad wolf or big brother on the earth no more. Those days are over, man. Your time's well overdue. You know, to the men of the Lord, but the Most High is set up where He's just got you right where He wants you, man. And now you're about to receive that judgment, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, man. You know, even if you shut down the internet, all this shit you're gonna do, martial law, you know, time of Jacob's trouble, World War III, the RFID chip, Mark of the Beast. There's nothing you can do to stop it, man. Everything's gonna pan out the way the Lord pans it out, because at the end of the day, the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. He set up kings and putteth down kings, man. So, you know, read it and weep, man. It says, yeah, so that was the main point. Anyway, I'm going to close out. I didn't want to speak for too long, you know, but it's all the spirit anyway. But I give all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakah Kodash. And until next time, I say Shalom.